First of all, I've had a lot of messages today saying, where's today's video? I uploaded it this morning. YouTube mucked up. It's there. I'll link it at the end of this one. But it's about Adam Armstrong and it's about strikers and that sort of thing. YouTube mucked up, as I say. I don't know why you didn't get notifications, but clearly I've had 8 or 9 messages. A lot of you didn't. It's there. If you search the channel, it's there, or I'll link it at the end of this one. But whilst I thought I'll do a quick video to let you know that there is a video, a story fell on my lap, and it's a story I thought I'd covered the other day when I spoke about the new directors, West Ham United Limited, that Gold and Sullivan had appointed friends and family members to the board. I made a joke about it, really, because I thought it was absolutely ridiculous, because I've been asking for football expertise, suggesting we should go and get Arsene Wenger and people like that to help stabilise the club and give some real football insight to the board. I took the mickey, really, because basically David Sullivan appointed his wife and David Gold appointed his son-in-law. I didn't realise what the truth of this situation is, and actually I don't think it's any joking matter, because the Times ran with a story yesterday that the board members have been put on the board to basically bend the rules, to allow the board members to invite their friends and family to games of football. And I actually feel that this is worse than the thing that I was joking about, because I didn't actually expect Arsene Wenger or anybody like that to be appointed to the board. I think it's something we get wrong. I think the scouting system, look at the debacle with Pellegrini's purchases, with Husilos, us appointing a technical director, but he turned out to be Pellegrini's best mate, and then they both appointed their sons. I thought it was a proper strategy that the club required, and we look at the things and the model that a club like Southampton has. I wanted us to go that way, but I didn't expect it, which is why I mocked it and which is why I joked. This is far worse, because what this is doing, this is bending COVID rules, and at a time when a lot of us are making a lot of sacrifices, I find it incredibly distasteful. Is it illegal? No, but that's the whole point. That is inherently what bending the rules are. Is it in keeping with the spirit? No, not even remotely. I don't know if you know, but Celtic are in a lot of trouble at the moment. They went off to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, or they went away somewhere hot for some. They said it was for team bonding and whatnot. They were legally allowed to do so. I believe they were allowed to do so by Scottish law, and I believe they were allowed to do so by international law. The travel ban didn't stop them from doing that. So were they legally allowed to do it? Yes. Was it within the spirit of things? No. I think it's horrendous, actually. And the reason it's horrendous is because Celtic, have clearly massive club, got a lot of fans. Celtic fans can't go on holiday. The Celtic fans can't go to Abu Dhabi. They've got to stay in their house. They can't even go and get a takeaway anymore in Scotland, by the way. That's how bad it's got up there. Now, bearing in mind, it's a community club. It's, as all clubs suggest that they are. Don't you think that somebody in Celtic would have advised that actually this isn't a great idea? And I just think this is another one of those from West Ham. There's no difference. I'll give you a couple of examples. What about if I really wanted to go to a West Ham game? Because I want to go to a West Ham game, and so do you, right? So what about if I knew somebody who ran the stewarding or something? What about if I said, I'll tell you what, can you give me a job just for a day? Just for a day. So technically and legally, I'm a steward. And then what I'll do is I'll go and sit in the stands and I can watch the game. Would there be a legal way around that? I guess there would. Would that be right? No. I mean, it would be a horrendous thing to do when nobody else can go to the game. That's what's happening here. That's absolutely what's happening. I mean, the reason that I'm worked up, and I normally try and put an amusing spin or be a little bit silly on these videos, but I am a bit worked up about it. A very close family member of mine has been into hospital twice, relatively recently. And I couldn't go because I'm not allowed. So they were in hospital on their own. I'm trying to strike a balance between, privacy, my own personal privacy, and telling a story, which is never an easy one to do. I couldn't get updates. The sort of thing you want to find out when a loved one is in a hospital. I couldn't get updates because I wasn't there. I can't demand updates. I understand the hospital staff are busy. But that was my sacrifice. I know somebody whose loved one has passed away during this COVID. They couldn't go to the funeral. These are the sort of sacrifices I'm talking about. Now, look, my wife works in a hospital. Maybe, just maybe, we could have bent the rules so as my wife could have flashed her NHS pass and gone to that hospital and seen the family member, and we got around it that way. Again, would it have been legal? Probably. Would it have been against the spirit of everything? Would it have been against... It just would have been the wrong thing to do. Legally right, totally against the spirit of things. And I look at it now and I think to put your family members to think, oh, okay, so as everyone can go to the game, I can put my wife, make her a director, make my son a director. The rule is that if you can work from home, you should do so. Let's be perfectly honest here. Both David Gold and David Sullivan can probably work from home. They don't, as I understand it, they don't even hold an office in the London Stadium. I don't think that's where their office is. Does David Sullivan actually need to watch the game from the stadium? No, I don't think he does. Oh, I understand that I can stretch to. I understand him using the loophole. Basically, can David Sullivan work from home? Yes, he can. Can David Gold? Yes. But they go to there anyway. Now, legally, they're probably fine, because everybody say, well, look, as chairman of this club, we probably need to see the team play. Okay. Tenuous, but okay. But this now, to make your children, to make your wife, to make your son-in-law, your close friends, directors of the football club, because that's what's happened. 4 new directors have been made, so as they can go to the game, is so wrong on many levels. You know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. Why don't they know it's wrong? Now, I am aware that I'm going off an article that appeared in the Times. This may not be true, but surely only one of 2 things can be true here. Either they've been appointed to the board because they feel that they can bring value to the board. They feel that there is some expertise that they hold that can improve the football club in some way. They can impart some knowledge to help run a football club. Now, bearing in mind, as far as I know, none of these people have any football experience at all. I found that hard to believe, which is why I joked about it. I said maybe they just missed Christmas. They didn't have a Christmas get-together, so they were using a little loophole to have their Christmas party now because everybody was separate. I made a joke, but I also suggested that actually the one person in the connected family to the board members that has a history of football is Paul Pesky-Solido. Well, he wasn't appointed to the board, and he's the only one with any sort of football history at all. So it's only that, or this suggestion from the Times, which I hadn't thought of, which is they have been appointed to the board so as they can get through a loophole and get to games. There's a reason that it's not within the spirit. It's because it's not safe to do so. The reason that everybody is staying indoors, the reason that you can't go out, the reason that you can't go on holiday, the reason that you can't go to the cinema or anything else is because the government and their medical advisors have decided that the fewer people outside possible, the better. That limits the spread of the disease. So when we're all doing these sacrifices, what's happening is the owners of our football club are looking for a loophole to think, how can I get to watch this game? How can I do this? It's not right. I'll give you another example because I do love an analogy. Technically, we are allowed, I'm going to say we, I mean my family, we are allowed to send our children to school. We are allowed to because my wife is a key worker. Now, so legally, we can send them all to school. The fact of the matter is, here's the spirit of it, though. There's a reason that rule was put in place. So let's just imagine that you are, so let's say you're a key worker. Let's say you work in Tesco. Let's say you're a single parent and you work in Tesco. At the moment they close the schools, and you have to look after your 7-year-old child, you can't then go to work. Well, the government needs you to work because they need key workers there. Whether you work in Tesco, whether you work in a hospital, wherever you work, the government needs people out there because they need to keep the supply chains of food going. They need to keep the NHS going. What that government don't need is you staying home looking after your child. So for very exceptional circumstances, for key workers, the government have allowed schools to remain open. All the children are very separate. They stay separate. That's what it's there for. Our family, we can use that system. We don't need to, because I'm hardly at work at all. I'm here most of the time. So can I send them? Crikey, they're annoying, by the way. They are annoying. They're in that house now. Oh, my goodness. So, I mean, but I could. My point is, I could very easily, just to stop them fighting like cat and dog, send them all off to school, perfectly within the rules. Why would I be doing that? I'd be doing that to make my life a bit easier, and it wouldn't be within the spirit of things. Why? Because I'm here to look after them. It would be putting an extra strain on a mechanism, when I'm talking about the school here, that's been put in place to really help people out. And also, let's be fair, it would be putting more people outside and into contact with other people that would spread this virus around. Hopefully it wouldn't happen. Hopefully the safety procedures at the school are absolutely fine. But it might not be. So if within the spirit, bearing in mind I'm here, I don't need to. They can stay here and do their online learning or whatever. I don't think they're doing it. I think every time I walk in, they're flicking the old thing on the laptop. They're playing Minecraft or they're doing some stuff. But anyway, I'm trying my best. My point is, I joke, of course, the spirit, in the correct spirit of everything, they stay here even though I can bend the rules. It is totally wrong and totally against the spirit. There are people working in that stadium who sanitise everything. They probably don't want to catch anything. The last thing they want are people that don't need to be there, who are there in the stadium taking advantage of a loophole. Now, again, I say I am aware I might well be getting myself annoyed and agitated over something that is a false report in the Times. But it might not be, and it does make sense than the other option, which is they've all been appointed to the board because of their footballing expertise. I mean, let's be fair, the board haven't appointed Frank Rijkaard, have they? I don't know. Look, I find it, again, it's another... There's an old saying which is knowing the price of everything and the value of nothing. And I think in this case, I think this might be a quote from Jurassic Park. And it's not anything I ever thought that I would say. It's just going to my head. They've spent so much time thinking of where, I think I'm slaughtering a quote. They've spent so much time thinking whether they could do it. They've never actually stopped to ask whether they should do it.